Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. The housing market had been on a roll in Indiana. Record sales fueled by low mortgage rates, creating tight inventory in markets all over Indiana. Then the pandemic hit, and while it has slowed the real estate market, you may be surprised at how things are holding up as we head into the second half of 2020. Let's turn now to Keller Williams Realty broker Greg Cooper for a look at what's trending, including relocations to Indiana. Greg, as always, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here, Gary.
Okay, in the spring when this thing first started, no one knew what to expect or where things were going. We've had a few months now to kind of weigh in and see how things are. In your view, how is the housing market, residential real estate market, holding up in Indiana?
Well, we've really got a 10th grade economics lesson playing out in front of us as far as the housing market is concerned, Gary. We have massively low interest rates, in some cases in the 2.6 to 2.7% marks, and we have a very low inventory. We have low inventory and low money, low inventory and low mortgage money to borrow. Those two things have continued to drive really a red hot housing market in most price points across central Indiana and all of Indiana, I guess we should say, through the first half of 2020.
Wow, 2.7 and 2.6 on the mortgage rates, unbelievable. Okay, let's talk about some of the trends, COVID trends, if you will. One of them, relocations, continuing to in part drive the market. We're getting folks from Illinois, big economic development strategy to pull companies from there, but also from California.
Yeah, most people would not think that Californians would be looking to move to Indiana. We do have snow, we don't have an ocean, so most people would not think that that would be a big place where people are relocating from. But as this whole COVID thing has about people working from where they are and whatever that may be. So we have a lot of people from California because we're so affordable. Los Angeles market, San Francisco market, Sacramento market, a lot of people are moving here from the West Coast because the cost of living is terrific and they can work from anywhere.
One of the other trends we're seeing, Greg, and I guess it's not surprising, those folks looking to buy are really looking for more at-home office space.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. You know, as COVID has drug on, Gary, and it's been more and more obvious that they were going to be in those home offices in the fall, or maybe a lot longer than that. We've got parents, sometimes two parents, working from the home. We've got kids trying to do homeschooling, e-learning. So that demand for work at home, school at home space, holy cow, has it skyrocketed in the last 60 to 90 days.
Greg, give us an idea on inventory, because I know you and I have talked on a number of occasions over the last really 2 years, basically, at how tight inventories were in central Indiana and really in markets all over the state. Has that inventory situation changed much?
No, and it hasn't. And as long as mortgage rates stay as low as they are, Gary. But let me see if I can put this in a real simple perspective for everybody. Ultimately, we have about 40% less inventory than we had 5 years ago. So we have 100 home buyers trying to buy 60 houses. That's the clearest I can make it. And just imagine, if you're trying to buy a home, you're competing with that kind of a battle right now.
Wow. Would you term it really a seller's market?
Absolutely a seller's market, and it doesn't mean that sellers don't have to participate in the process in order to get to the finish line. Inspections and appraisals are still significant challenges because the market is so imbalanced towards sellers. Sellers don't want to make a lot of repairs, and they don't really care about appraisals. They just want to get their money. But buyers, obviously, if they're going to pay full dollar or pay 110% of full dollar, they want things to be fixed on the inspection, and they want the appraisals to come in at value, or those two things, those three things, don't really match up with getting the process completed.
Okay, Greg, I want to get you to look into the crystal ball into the second half of 2020, maybe into 2021. Market good now, but no doubt the COVID impact with unemployment or employment, lack of employment, number of people out of jobs, more businesses, frankly, they're going to fail. There's no question about that. Long-term impact, what do you see going through the rest of this year into next year?
Let's start with home mortgage rates. They're not going up anytime soon because that's the big tool that our Federal Reserve and our federal officials have to keep the economy headed in the right direction. So I don't see them being above 3 before the end of this year or early next year. We have a little thing called a presidential election out there, and that is kind of on the back burner in a lot of ways because this whole COVID issue has been so significant. But I think when you start to look at the issue of unemployment and the effect of the long-term unemployment, coupled with a lot of uncertainty with the presidential election, I think we have a very uncertain housing market ahead. But the mortgage rates are going to continue to drive sales. It's not going to go away, Gary. It will be something different in 6 months and 8 months than it is today, but it's not going to go away.
All right, Greg Cooper, as always, some great perspective. Really appreciate it, Greg. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. It's been great to be here.
All right.